What I've been asked to talk about is management of Guyana petroleum revenues and resource course mitigation. Well, there are several ways in which the resource course can be formulated. Sometimes people call it the paradox of plenty, or the economists call it the oil not free syndrome. And the question that we should ask is why these different colorful descriptions of what we're talking about. It's based on a correlation that shows resource abundance results in poor economic performance. And this is particularly counterintuitive because one would expect that given more resources, a country would perform better. As it turns out, the correlation has been challenged by many people, but I don't want to drag into any esoteric theoretical debates. So I will accept the fact that it is counterintuitive and that simple correlations do show that countries with more resource abundance, particularly in mineral terms, perform more poorly than countries with less resource abundance. There are two general reasons why this is supposed to be happening. First one is called the Dutch disease, and second one is called the governance curse. The Dutch disease is quite simple. There are two basic drivers. In countries where when there is still an influx of mineral wealth, the exchange rate tends to appreciate, both nominally and really. I think Mr. McIntyre referred to that constantly in his presentation. As a result of that, the global competitiveness of the country that is blessed with these resources finds itself going increasingly uncompetitive at a global level. There are traditionally in the literature three basic responses to that. One is to try to slow the rate at which the exchange rate is appreciated, whether in real terms or nominal terms. And the second is to re-engineer as East-West in non-oil sectors. And in Guyana, that will be the traditional sectors, export sectors, like sugar, rice, that type of thing. And domestic non-trade sectors, like services and goods produced for consumption locally. The second level which we try to the third level which we try to engineer it is to promote savings. This is where sovereign wealth fund comes in. But because my perspective is slightly different from Mr. McIntyre's, I will stress the fact that the promotion of savings does not have to be only through the sovereign wealth fund. It can be done through savings of the households and savings of businesses. And I'll get later on why I incorporate those two elements into the source of finding the macroeconomic solution to this dilemma. The governance course, which is the second arm of this explanation, emphasizes two main drivers: that the wealth and pensions regimes, and as it pensions these regimes, it incentivizes wealth-seeking behavior. That is, people trying to appropriate more wealth without contributing to the generation of that wealth. And here I think of bribery, fraud, extortion, things that we use. People trying to accumulate wealth without using their wealth to expand the wealth basis of the economy. I believe that given all these issues that are on place here, it is best to locate this problematic in the context of what I would call, and I've called in my article that I referred to at the beginning, the top 10 macroeconomic challenges that the country faces as a result of that. I will start, of course, with the resource course, which was given, but then I go on with this is the 10 here. The Dutch disease, the governance course, because those two are supposed to be drivers of the resource course. The But I would add to that, the altering nature of the economy, the lack of absorption capacity, the management of expectations of the economy, the fact that many economists overseas have been advising the government to follow a permanent income hypothesis rule for governing revenue spending, which I think Mr. Alan McIntyre brilliantly explained, because that is what it is, that you try to spend within the permanent confines of the income that you are getting and you expect in real terms. Then there's the considerations of equity, and particularly intergenerational equity, that we have to be fair to this generation and to the next. There's also the issue of implementation lag. Reforms that he spoke about, structural reforms, institutional reforms and that type of thing, have a lag in being made as effective. And I would imagine that the experience of several other countries better placed than ours have found that very difficult to overcome. And the last of the 10 that I mentioned is what we discussed here today, the integration of the national budget into the petroleum revenue stream. And that is, in many sense, a more technical and complicated issue than many would see. If you go to the next slide, there are many prescriptions which have been put forward to be considerations. First of all, and most important and maybe most fundamental over the long term, is promoting economic diversification. And that is the last thing Mr. McIntyre referred to. But that's the first thing that people do first when they come to think of a policy prescription for dealing with this. How we diversify the economy over the long term. The second issue that you have to consider as a prescription is over the medium and over the short and medium term. How it is that you effect macroeconomic balance that you need to have to ensure that there's not rising deficits, rising inflation, or even rising unemployment. The third issue that we have to struggle against, or prescriptions that we propose, is to promote saving. And here I would stress that it's not only the National Resource Fund or the Sovereign Wealth Fund which we are engaged in, but equally I would emphasize the need to promote savings within the households and within businesses. I think the picture is incomplete without the three of them. What issue is clearly governance, because he has stressed the importance of transparency and accountability, and also of institutions. And that therefore leads to other sub-items that I just institutional strengthening, transparency, accountability, conflict and dispute, mediation, and issues like that. Next slide, please. And then in the midst of all of this, we have to realize that oil is here to promote the welfare of people. We're not selling oil just to make money. We're not selling oil just to raise the level of oil revenue. We're selling oil to promote the benefits for citizens. So we have to ensure that citizens benefit for social protection, including universal basic income schemes, which are part of the Sustainable Development Goals. We should be an integral part of it because we subscribe to those goals and we are a part of the global commitment to bring to an end income poverty. Then, of course, there are other issues which are critical that he spoke about. The need for flexibility in markets, because that's the principal mechanism which we use to guide the use of resources in places like Guyana. If we don't want to exceed the entrance, we have to make the market a more fundamental and important regulator of economic activity in the country. That means trying to promote price flexibility, trying to promote trade flexibility, openness and competitiveness of trade. With our CARICOM labels, we don't seek to promote a local content requirement, which is a disguised form of protectionism. and we try to be global about it and say we protected Guyanese and violating every commitment we make when we speak to them as members of the country. We have to also, I believe, try to make sure the goods and services markets, people who market as well as the market for productive factors, are allowed to be able to make form their prices efficiently. And that includes the interest rate, the wage rate, and these are the two key determinants of the flow of capital, the flow of labor in the economy, so the principal productive factors. We have also to ensure that we create the opportunity for job creation, because oil and gas, or if we them a single item, petroleum, is labor intensive. Labor extensive. It doesn't require lots of labor to produce these items. So we can't look to them to solve the issue of job creation. We have to create jobs outside of those sectors. And that is the effect and principal problem that we have to bear in mind. And of course, to do this, if we were to rely on the private sector, we have to make significant investments in entrepreneurship, especially to try to develop skills among the population that allows them to operate in the market independent of government dependence, which I think is a good that most of them are expecting to benefit from. And the ninth item that I discussed was content requirements. And there I mentioned the fact that we have to be careful that these are not disguised forms of protection. On the one hand, we promote flexibility, openness, competitiveness, which I think are absolutely essential. On the other hand, we're using a nationalist pretension, protecting Guyanese, to introduce measures that are profoundly anti-competitive in terms of their commitment, the commitments we have to the rest of the curriculum, sometimes for the field, small island development states and all that we have for opening up markets. I think the opening up of markets, despite what's happening in the United States now, is the principal foundation of which we must build the future of Guyana's competitiveness in the global economy. There are other items that I mentioned which are not included in that list. One of them I mentioned, there are two that we mentioned at them here. One is the need to have a national oil company, to have some mechanism in which the government is able to operate in the system as a part of getting involved, not by spending its resources, by capital shares in this company, but to organize itself to a national institution to ensure that the regulation of the sector is governed by the obtained through participation of a state entity. You can't regulate the sector effectively, state versus foreign private. You have to have a national state and national private involvement, and that can be done through the state. And you can form a national oil company that is not in effect an oil producing company, but one that takes up the corporate responsibility of protecting the state's interest in the upcoming sector. Wherever it goes, it works and promotes the interests of the state and not only private capital. I say that because the regulatory framework is going to be absolutely key. And I can't see, I see that back here, how you can have an efficient regulatory system created in Guyana without having a direct participant in the process, as you want to do. So that is what I would also recommend. We put the next slide. I think as a result of all that, I would emphasize that we have certain, what I would call foundational or structural risks. That is where I want to end. For example, I think the basic drive behind the call for a national resource fund or sovereign wealth fund, let's be frank, it needs to separate the needs from the control of petroleum revenue. No matter how it's tried, one tries to hide it. That's the driving concern behind those who are Santiago principle is trying to modulate some of most of you will have a copy of it. That's the reminder. Modulate the means by which this is done. They try to put a democratic or transparent flavor on it. But the fundamental issue is that the political elites of these countries, one like Ghana, are not trusted. Therefore, they want to separate their influence from the regulations and the revenue generated by the state. Most of the contention in Ghana, where it centers on the role that the minister has to play. So whether it becomes obvious here or not, this is the underlying problem that the government will have to face if I deal with this going forward. Because that distrust has permeated our whole consciousness, and many people instinctively reflect the fear that any particular elite involved in a regulation or direction of the use of petroleum revenues is a priori wrong. Well, my response to that is that if you feel that way, you should also ask yourself if putting in the hands of private investors is always right. One only has to look at the scandals of the world now concerning sovereign wealth funds to realize that private investors can be pursuing their private interests, making their box, whether or not the fund is successfully being prosecuted on behalf of the people of the country that from which they work with, the funds they are working with. We have big scandals in places like Malaysia and so on, or the core country. But they should give us I think, some cause for concern and have us reflect a little more in deliberation. And to realize that it is not a riskless operation. And my responsibility here, as I see it, is to identify this. I think there are risks in having it shifted from political elites to elites coming from financial sources. The experience that I've had, or I've seen or witnessed over the last decade, 2 decades, is not very happy that too many scandals, too much scamishness in this area of me if you come to that area. So I would like to signal that. The second point I would like to signal again to risk is that we had a great recession, 2007, 2008. And the further we go into here, the greater the likelihood of another recession. So Guyana has to be careful that we are not precipitating the formation of the NRF or the SWF at a period of time where the risk or probability of some serious financial crisis is not unusually heightened. I'm not predicting a global financial crisis, but I'm saying any serious person, but telling you that the further where we are from 2007 and 8, the last period of a serious crisis, the risk rate becomes for another crisis from here. Because historically they occurred in cycles of various lengths, but certainly after a decade, the probability continues to rise exponentially. The third risk I've mentioned a bit about, and that's the risk posed by private profit-seeking financial elites who can have rent-seeking behavior and be incentivized to make money in ways that are not consistent with national interest. I think the history of misappropriation, mismanagement, malfeasance, bears testimony to what I want to say, and I don't want to spend a lot on that. The last point I want to make is that we should be honest and say that the creation of a sovereign wealth fund means that we have to establish a discount rate against the needs of the people at this point in time and insurance for the future. That's a stark choice that we have to make. We put aside the money for a rainy day, But in doing so, we also put aside the urgency of now in terms of meeting the needs of the people. I'm not saying that the decision to do it is the wrong decision, but I feel the government needs to consciously evaluate this choice that they have to make and to make a rational decision to be accurate. I think I'll leave some time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Thomas. Now we'll open the floor to questions for a few minutes, and then I see on the agenda we will have a 15-minute break. Questions?
Samuel Fraser, Region 6. Colonel Thomas, you mentioned some time ago about money transfer to individuals. I haven't heard you in your presentation incorporate that discussion. So I'm asking you to explain something on that. Whether it will be a risk or what have you. But I want to mention about the Dutch disease. So I'm asking you to elaborate.
Well, to be honest, I didn't want to hijack this discussion to talk about the proposal that I made. I don't think some of the participants in the discussion here will even know of it. Proposal that I made that the government make cash transfers to the limit of 10% of the budget. Or not 10% of the budget, 10% of the government take into giving cash transfers to households. And the budget that I aimed at is a budget of about $5,000 per person. It comes to effect if and only if we produce more than 1 million barrels per day. But that is not when it starts at $5,000. That's when it starts at forever. It really works efficiently and effectively when the production rate is between 1.5 and 2.5 million barrels per day, which is my confident prediction. Guyana will reach at the max over the cycle discoveries that we've been having. It's not a recommendation for creating an opportunity for sending cash all over the country. It presumes two basic fundamental things. One is that the economy is digitalized, but e-transfers are made, so there's not something that involves movement of cash, but payments through any commercial premise, any post office, any place that has access to internet activity. So it is complemented by a scheme for a complete digitalization of the entire economy, but every single person has an e-identity. The second thing is that because it's current income, it has to be reported to tax authorities, which means for the first time in the history of Guyana, every single person will get a tax hit. We have at the moment less than 20% of the persons who get income to this country within the tax system. So it allows for that. We have a population that is highly divided in terms of race and ethnicity, and because we give it to every household and not giving it to any political groups, constituents, it is race and ethnically neutral. We also have a situation in the country where there are 210,000 households, and these are established in terms of enumeration districts in the country by the statistical department. And each enumeration district constitutes 100 households. So that means that 2,100 households at the minimum will each require within the local community $100 million per annum, which I think generates a level of investment that is decentralized, that cannot be replicated by anything I think the state can do. It is also premised on the fact that I think the state is a very inefficient instrument for generating services that we need, including educational skills and all the things we talked about. And then I will place my bottom dollar in the expectation to be less bribery and corruption coming out of that process, given the fact that it's controlled by the systemization of the country, the digitalization of the country, and what happens here in the procurement system with disjointed and lumpy sums of investment going through any level of procurement regulation that you can think about. So I have a lot of reasons why I feel that it's feasible. So the recommendation I made, you may feel that it's a recommendation that supports the view that it's implemented. It's a recommendation for proposal for a study. The actual recommendation I have here is here the persons who are interested in giving their email address. It's for a feasibility study and a pilot study. That is to be a commitment of the government, and the earlier the better. The technical arm of that feasibility study will be supplied by the University of Guyana and the Bureau of Statistics. The necessary agencies to undertake it will include international agencies, several of whom have already committed to the statement of the review that this is the best and most effective single means of public expenditure, including the World Bank, the IMF at one stage, the FAO, DFID, and a whole number of other institutions which are listed in the proposal and quote them for data. So the proposal is a technical proposal and requires further study. It requires operationalizing. So it's not something that's going to just fly as a suggestion to me. It has to be gone through by in a proper feasibility or cost-benefit study to see how effectively this can be done. And requires, of course, significant resources that put in place. So I never wanted to import this discussion today to that at a particular thing. In fact, I had it presented last night at a separate function. So that's what, in essence. I've given a brief outline so people will not go away with the feeling that most people have. I've never read a line that goes in that I'm saying give people cash. So they know what's then I'm finding all the traditional people. I also in that report point out that we give, and do in fact give cash transfers. We give them to the private sector. Every tax break, every tax write-off, every subsidy, it will really affect the private sector paying for it and we giving them back the money. That's the economic effect. That's the economic effect of a tax break. You pay the tax and you give it back the money. So if you give them a break instead of going the whole long route of doing that, and most people are uncritical about that. They believe that it's part of the normal way of life. This is normalized. But that involves equally cash transfer to people who I would not consider to be so and the poor. And it also comes up in terms of, because the debate last night, this topic here today too, because people asked me which one was that one. I said, yes, this is also an issue. Because most people, 99% of Guyanese, would never utter critical word about sovereign wealth fund. They take it for granted that this is something we should do. Why? Because they fall into the belief that anything we have to do is putting our money aside and pay for the political needs. The best thing we can do now. So they are uncritical as well about the implications of that. So So what I have been trying to do is to draw to the attention of people that even though we think I've been asking for the wealth to be shared with poor, I'm certainly doing that, but I'm not doing it in an uncritical or exaggerated way. It's a controlled experiment. And I'm saying we also give away more money. Why would you raise the same question regarding those expenditures? I find it absolutely amazing how Chinese could sit back and get this opportunity coming from oil to pass us by when we could as a country with well-supported economic advice and guidance able to solve the problem of income poverty within the generation. I think the revenues and potential is there. I can remember when I wrote and said that we were to get an production of $1.5 to $2.5 million. People write in the newspapers how you'd never be able to sell more than 220. Because that one, these are two, you say, 220 to 240,000 barrels of oil ever. And the gross revenue the government would get would be in the amount of $300 million. I had to laugh, and we turned out to see that Guyana has had the highest discovery rate for oil, for petroleum known to mankind. The second highest rate was 2019 after Russia. And these things don't happen by accident. Leading firms like Wood Mackenzie, Rystad Energy, have estimated the government to take at least $117 billion for what is known alone in Stafford Block. And we found resources nearly half the amount already outside the Stafford Block. And we are not even touched any of the shallow waters, any of the inland deposits that we have, because I'm basing my estimation on the work of the U.S. Geological Services both in 2000 and 2010. And those studies show that the Guyana Basin, the Guyana Suriname Basin, has at a 95% probability only 7 billion barrels of oil. But at a 50% probability, 41,000. The 5% probability, 70-something billion. So we are in a very good state of play for more discoveries to be made. So I'm encouraged by that, and that is why I am so ambitious in my recommendation. Thank you.